But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Isn't that amazing? But yet, y'all been told that anger is good.
You have a message.
Yeah. Jesus was angry, they say. You've been lied to about anger. Anger is evil. But anyway, again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, I don't know what that word is, I can't see it right now. Raka is answerable to the court. And anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the fire of hell. This is so deep. Matthew 5:21. You can drop anger right now if you wanted to and be of love. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to hold on to anger. Anger is not good. It's not your natural nature. It's your human nature, which is evil, which is of your father, the devil. Anyone that has anger love evil, but they call it good. But they love evil. And everyone, almost everyone, maybe one or two have gotten away with not being taught that, but most people have been taught and told that anger is good. And yet, those that has anger has no peace. And they don't question that, okay, if anger is good, why am I so miserable? They won't even ask themselves that because they have accepted a lie and call it good. But don't worry, you could overcome anger just like that. You could drop it right now if you wanted to. If you wanted to drop it, you can. But you don't want to because you love your misery. You love your hell. You love the thrills that come from being angry. You love them. That's why you hold on to them. You love the thrill. And then you people ask, well, how do you do it? How do you just drop it? You just drop it. You don't want to drop it because you love your hell. You love the thrill. People love the up and down thrills. They love them. The so-called good thrills and bad ones. They thrive off the thrill, and that's why they can't drop it. If you didn't love it, you let it go. But I want to show you what I believe is a demonic black woman who stabbed white young boy and mother, according to the report. This, you're going to be looking right in the eyes of evil. But the interesting part isn't that the same spirit that's driving this woman to do that is driving people to smile at you. And while they're smiling at you, they're stabbing you in the back. And you're looking at evil with a smile. Our battle is spiritual.
You have a message.
Yeah. It's amazing to me. One thing I want to say before I play it is that white people, this incident allegedly happened to a white woman and a white child, but because white people are hated, you're going to see more of this. If not this particular, where they're going around stabbing you, they're going to hate you even more so because they have been told for years now that you are the problem. They have that you are the problem. are the problem. They have not been told that evil is the problem, but that you are the problem. Isn't that amazing? And so, by telling you people that, the blacks and others that, the responsibility has been taken away from the blacks and others to examine themselves so that they can be free, because they have been convinced by evil inside other people and evil inside themselves that white people are the problem. And white people are the most hated species on this side of heaven for no reason at all. Zero reason. Of course, I know that there are a lot of made up reasons, but they're not true. Each adult human being is responsible for their own hell, and no one else is. Your parents, of course, they let you down because they had not overcome their hell when you were born. You were born into their hell. But as an adult, you're responsible. Your parents or no one else is responsible for helping you to overcome your hell. Isn't that amazing? But I want to show you this very, very interesting act of evil. It's mind-blowing. And it's everywhere. This is from the Daily Mail. Surveillance video shows the suspect wandering in an Ohio grocery store carrying a large knife stolen from a nearby thrift store. So this black woman, black female, is walking around in the store, according to a report, in an Ohio grocery store, and she's just freely carrying around a big knife. It appeared to be big, that she stole, according to this report, from a nearby thrift store. She's just walking around with it. Nobody's stopping her. Isn't that amazing? And the white mother swerved her cart around the black lady, who turned around seemingly to stalk the white mother and child. Watch this from the Daily Mail. It's a silent video, but there go the black woman. Look like she have a knife. There go the white woman with her baby. And look how the black woman turn around. See that? There she go again with the knife. Here come so here she going out of the store, and there go the white woman with the baby. And she seemed to be stalking or following this white woman out into the parking lot. That's amazing, huh? I want you to see that one. Are we able to play that again? I want you to see that one. It's a silent footage, right? So you can't hear it in case you're listening by radio or whatever. So you're gonna see what appears to be a black female, kind of walking around in the store, carrying a long knife, and no one says anything. I don't know if maybe people didn't see it, or maybe they didn't think. There's some crazy nut walking around about to kill somebody with a knife. And you're gonna see this white woman with her child walk toward them, that woman. And when they get near each other, the black woman stops and looks over at the white woman. And it appears that that's when she started to follow this woman. Watch this from the Daily Mail. So here comes the black woman with the knife. Here comes the white woman, and the black woman going a different way. Watch how she stop and turn around. The little child in the shopping cart. Now she's following this woman. There she go again. Waiting at the door, the exit there, still seemed to be following the white woman. And this is supposed to be a human being now. Isn't that amazing? And now they just left the building. Isn't that amazing? And witnesses say that she walked up to the mother, this black woman, according to the witnesses, walked up to the mother and child in the parking lot, stabbed them, and walked away. Police found her still carrying the knife. According to this report, and according to witnesses, they say she just, in the parking lot, walked over to the mother and the child and stabbed them, driven by evil. 2 hoops and a holler from becoming Jeffrey Dahmer. And this is even more prevalent now than any other time that I've always, since I've been on Earth, in history, because people are angry, they are high, they are drunk, they're on drugs, they're smoking pot, and they're angry. Just imagine all that mixed together. I don't know if this woman was high or drunk, but she definitely is angry, in my opinion. Just imagine that. You get up and you go to the store and you put your child in the shopping cart. You're not thinking about anything but buying some groceries, possibly going back home, make dinner or something, or feed your child. In the meantime, some evil female, black female, walking around in the store. And you're not even like paying attention to what's going on. Because you're not thinking that something like this will happen. And some angry black female walking around in the store with a knife for whatever reason. You caught her attention. And she followed you, according to the report, out to the parking lot and kill your child, according to the story, and wound you with the knife. The human heart is evil. Salvation is of the heart. You must be born of the heart. It's of the heart. By the way, we have a brand new episode of The Father's State coming up this Friday, which is 12 noon Pacific. And you can get your White History t-shirts now. Get them now from a nearby thrift store. And for some reason, this white woman and her child caught this woman's attention. The white woman going one way down the aisle, and this black female appeared to be going another way. But she caught the attention to this black female, and this black female, according to the report, followed her outside of the store and in the parking lot, stabbed and killed the child, and wounded the mother. Isn't that amazing? This is from the New York Post. 32-year-old suspect, Beyonce Ellie Smirks, and giggles in court as she's charged with murder of a 3-year-old Julian Woods. Watch this from Catch Up on X.
Code section 2903.11A1 and or endangering children in violation of Ohio Revised Code section 2919.22B2. Count 4 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did knowingly cause serious physical harm to JW on date of birth 10/29/2020. Count 5 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did torture or cruelly abuse JW The defendant did, knowing that an official proceeding or investigation was in progress or was about to be or likely to be instituted, alter, destroy, conceal, or remove any record, document, or thing with the purpose to impair its value or
You don't
availability
care.
as evidence in such proceeding or investigation. I have now read the indictment to you. Do you wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
Sí,
Pardon me?
sí,
What's same mean? Yes or no?
yes.
Okay. I understand the
You can't see.
victims are represented and they want to make a comment before I set bond. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Did she eat the baby? That's evil. But that's evil in an extreme way. But the same spirit that drove her to allegedly carry out this act, it's the same spirit that caused you to go after other human beings. Revenge, jealousy, when you want to be like someone else, when you are angry. It's the same spirit. There's no different. Zero different. When husbands and wives fight one another, it's the same spirit that drove that woman to allegedly carry out this evil act. It's the same spirit when mothers go to court and put a phony cry up, oh, he beat me, or he shouldn't be around the kid, and try to keep the kids from the fathers. That's the same evil spirit that drove that woman to allegedly do what she has been accused of doing, stabbing and killing a little kid and wounded the mother. That's the same spirit. Isn't that amazing? It's no different. You'll look at that act and think what you're doing is not that bad. Or somehow or another you're a little better. But you're not. You're evil. Evil is evil is evil. The same spirit that's going after the Great White Hope, the Democrats who are trying to stop him from being president, those who are trying to take him to court, and the reporters who are Whoopi Goldberg and all those people who are like getting joy out of watching what they think the president is suffering. It's the same spirit. It's no different. It's the same evil driving them to rejoice in another man's problem. It's the same spirit that drove that female to do what she's been accused of. It's the same one, no different. And I'm telling you this so you can get to know yourself and see that evil is evil is evil. And that woman is sitting there grinning and just loving it. But inwardly, she's miserable. Believe me. She's burning in her own hell. She's not as happy as she's pretending, but she's trying to present it that way so she can hopefully she'll find some peace as she wants. Isn't that amazing? This is from Fox 8. Local news report on the crime, and the father speaks in court. Watch this.
Bianca Ellis.
Walking into court to face charges for killing an innocent child.
And now the I-Team has found Bianca Ellis has claimed she murdered someone in California. And she even told Cleveland police she wanted to kill someone.
Here, Ellis smiled and made faces at a hearing on the murder of 3-year-old Julian Wood. North Olmsted police say last week, outside of Giant Eagle, Ellis attacked the boy and his mother with a knife, even though she didn't know them.
Judge Nancy Margaret Russo had no patience for courtroom shenanigans.
Do you wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
Sí,
Pardon me?
sí,
What's same mean? Yes or no?
yes.
And the child's family had no patience either.
She took everything from us. There's nothing that could ever replace my son. Just do whatever you can to keep this monster behind bars. It's horrendous. And I really wish no bail, period.
Back in county court, Julian's family said Ellis should be held in jail.
Amazing, huh? Just imagine your son, little son like that, 3 years old, and your wife, I guess it was his wife, go shopping for groceries, you off doing whatever you're doing, and you hear later that your wife has been stabbed, and your son, 3-year-old son, is dead. And the person that did it didn't even know him. And then you're watching the person in court smile, feeling nothing about it. And they're saying that this woman said she killed other people.
He's absorbed into this fucking film.
This earth is evil. Not the earth itself, not the physical earth, but the human beings of the earth. Every human being has that kind of hell in them until they return to the Father. It's not going to change until you return to the Father. Except that Jesus is not going to do it. You must be born again. Your heart must change. It ain't racism. It ain't sexism. It ain't white supremacism, homophobism, or anti-Semitism, or Allah-U'Abba-ism. It's evil. Get to know yourself so you can overcome evil. Here is, this is from Fox 8, local news investigation. Her crimes across the country. Watch this.
Now the I-Team has uncovered more police reports and more court records that raise the question as to why Ellis was not locked up before the toddler was murdered.
We've uncovered recent cases from Northeast Ohio to California and to Florida. March, Ellis arrested near Orlando for trespassing at a hotel.
February, Cleveland police took a call from a woman's shelter. A report shows Ellis demanded the staff call 911 so she can confess to a murder. She told police she murdered someone in Bakersfield, California.
Police there did not have Ellis tied to any murders, but they had just issued 3 warrants against her for assault. At that call to the women's shelter, police say Ellis also told them she wanted to kill someone and eat their flesh. So Cleveland police took her to the hospital for a psych evaluation. But that report also shows North Olmsted police did not come and get her, even though she'd been wanted for a probation violation.
Last week, the I-Team revealed Ellis got arrested for violating probation in North Olmsted, just days before the murder of little Julian.
A magistrate recommended a mental health check, but Judge Brian Hagan released Ellis without a hearing. We've now uncovered chilling new information about Ellis, but last week the judge told us he was unaware of anything alarming when releasing Ellis. What would you do differently handling this case or even next time?
Nothing. I'm confident in the way that the court handled this matter.
The I-Team now revealing more about her out on the streets nationwide.
And Judge Russo made it nearly impossible for Ellis to go free before standing trial for the death of this child.
On set $5 million.
In Cleveland, Peggy Gallick.
Ed Gallick, Fox 8, I-Team.
Amazing. We're looking at her walking out of court. And isn't that amazing? I believe the reason she was able to get away with it, if all this is true, that she did this in other states, something like this, or assault people or whatever, she's black, and she can get away with it. The police ain't coming for you if you're black. You're not going to court, to jail if you're black. And the courts are afraid to put you in jail if you're black because they don't want to be called racist. The police are not coming for you because they don't want to be called police brutality or racist. Our country has been handicapped with that word. And that is evil. And that's what it was meant for. Is to handicap the country. White people, the court system, the prisons, the jail. Let them all out, they say, and no bail bond. We played so many sound bites over the year or so, and maybe longer, of white people getting attacked in New York, in the train stations over there in New York and LA and other places. And what happens when they attack white people? They walk in one door of the courthouse and right, or the jailhouse or wherever, right through the back door. They out. They let them out. Because you can't do this to black people. And plus, white people's lives don't matter to these people. It's evil, folks. A little kid is dead. A 3-year-old kid. Can you imagine the father getting the news that his wife has been stabbed and his child is dead, and allegedly done by someone that didn't even know him at all? Fox 8 is reporting that the suspect claimed to have murdered a white woman months beforehand in Bakersfield, California. According to Fox 8, she claimed that she's murdered some white woman months beforehand in Bakersfield, California. I would not be surprised, maybe it won't happen, but I would not be surprised if this Ellis woman got out of prison again, out of jail or wherever they sent her. I wouldn't be surprised. She's black. And the people here, I guess, at least the ones in this Ohio market, were white. And remember when that far left liberal radical Black Lives Matter group, worse than the KKK, hate the family, hate God, and call themselves lesbians? Remember when they didn't even allow white people to say white lives matter? And white people were afraid to say white lives matter. Some, not all. And now this is what you're getting. Fear and anger is not your friend. Fear and anger is not your friend. The spirit of fear is not of God. God has not given you a spirit of fear. So if you have it, and you do if you have anger, you can overcome it. It is not you. You don't have to live with fear. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. What an amazing act of evil. Acts of evil. Is it acts of evil or act? Hey.
Act of evil.
Act of evil. Isn't that amazing? It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because it's evil. But good news, if you overcome evil within your own heart, you'll be fine. Really, you really will. Right here on earth. You have peace on earth. in spite of all the hell that's going on around you, you can have peace on earth, because the hell that's going on around you is happening inside of other people, and whatever other people are doing, that's them. It has nothing to do with you. Amazing. Can we do super chat? We have time.
Yeah.
Super chat. Super.
Over on Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App, Adler donated and gave you a tip and answered the biblical question.
Thank you. Who's dumber, men or women?
Men are dumber, says Adler.
Thank you for responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
Priscilla from Houston bought 3 coffees. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Jesse, the reason El Salvador has changed for the better has nothing to do with the president. It's because all the gang members have migrated to the United States of America.
No, I mean, that's probably happening. Yes, I'm sure a lot of them are coming here, but prior to all this happening, it was already known that the president of El Salvador was locking them up. He was locking them up. The word was already out, so he was taking care of this even before these gang members were allowed to openly come here. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, though. I understand.
Bond JLP Cash App tip from Brittany. Hey, Jesse, my name is Ania. I'm a big fan. Love your show. Please read my comment.
Thank you, Ania. And we read your comment. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ravender
Thanks for the support.
Ravender bought a coffee. Replace the Y. Pray. Replace the Y with I-S-E. Praise. Hands up. And he says it twice. Thank you for your 2 coffees.
Thank you. I don't quite know what it means, but and where we talked about this woman who's been accused, a black female, being accused of killing a white kid and wounded the mother of the kid in a parking lot in Ohio. They're at an Ohio grocery store. And this woman been accused of assaulting or attacking other people around the country, according to the report. If you miss that, you podcast that and you watch it. And I want you to watch it because I want to encourage you to start to be aware. When you're out and about nowadays, where you shopping or are you out having lunch or dinner at some cafe, or you're just walking down the road, you need to get off your cell phones. I'm not saying that mother was on her cell phone, but I'm saying you need to be aware. You need to be aware. You're walking down the road in your cell phone. It doesn't even make sense. You're so into your cell phones, you don't see your enemies behind you. Or in some cases, right in front of you. So I would recommend, do what you want, of course, that you start to be conscious of your surrounding. Of America, my country is not the same anymore. It has changed. And it's been changed by evil people. They want it this way. If they didn't want it this way, they wouldn't be defunding the police. They wouldn't be taking away bail bonds. They wouldn't be letting the blacks out of prisons and jails. They wouldn't be giving the people free drugs, pot, and all type of needle stuff. They want it this way, folks, because they are evil. They want you afraid. They want chaos. And that's why I'm warning the Trump supporters. Do not get angry at what's happening with Donald Trump, the Great White Hope. They want you angry because they know that if you become angry, you're going to overreact. And when you overreact, they're going to call you racist. They're going to call you white supremacists. They're going to call you
making these interesting spin on Merrick Garland that I hadn't heard before. I think she's kind of hinting at a new investigation and maybe new evidence and a new front on Garland. Well, welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the Happy Patriots are. We're longtime fans of Alina Habba and Trump's entire legal team. But here she is with a little peek clip from her at Turning Point USA, TPUSA, which I'm not a big fan of the organization, but they do some good work. And this was a woman's thing they did, so that she's all dressed in pink. So listen to this.
We are the fiercest warriors, and with courage and determination, we can overcome anything. Be a savage.
Be a savage. That's a message to women that it's not a lack of femininity to be savage. And I agree with that. I've seen you back a woman, mama bear, up against the wall. And I mean mama bear even being protective of her children or her country. And she's right. Women, you can be savage. Also, meek and mild is another trait.
No, she's fallen on her fanny since the very beginning. Her arrogance, her demeanor has been incredibly telling. It's very much the typical coordinated, as we know, as you mentioned earlier in your show, with the Biden administration move.
Now, this is an interesting connection she makes, that Fani Willis, who is arrogant and fell on her fanny, but her arrogance comes from the confidence of being the tip of the spear on this coordinated effort. So, her dismissal of everyone and the way she conducts herself in court is probably because she knows that she's backed by Biden and Merrick Garland and the U.S. government corruptly and secretly.
Even more news that's just coming in as we're going. This is the documents case. Judge Cannon down in Florida is now considering whether Jack Smith's appointment to the special counsel was even legal at all because he was a civilian. There was no Senate confirmation.
That's right.
Merrick Garland just created a position.
So now we're going to move over to Merrick Garland, creating this position for Jack Smith. They did not run Jack Smith through the normal appointment and approval process. Merrick Garland just ran him in there. This is going to start I've said this for a long time, Merrick Garland is the bag man. It's like all of them lead to him, and you kind of go, wow, he's kind of doe-eyed and he seems gentle. No, he is the guy who probably orchestrated it and brought the plan to Biden. Biden okayed it. But the actual bag man is the Department of Justice and is Merrick Garland. All the arrows point to him. He's the axle in the wheel. All the spokes point to him.
I think one of the things he's just got to do is got to go in there and absolutely clean house. But
yes,
at some level, these are all state prosecutors, and Merrick Garland yesterday was like, oh, that's an independent office. And Matt Gaetz was like, I know it's an independent office, but I want to know if you spoke with him. And he wouldn't answer the question.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, he could have answered the question. We did a video on that already, that Merrick Garland would not answer Matt Gaetz. Look for that. He has fire on him. It's called, I think we called it Pants on Fire was the thumbnail. Look for that one. But yeah, Merrick Garland would not answer if he's been in communication with Fani Willis, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James. He could have just made a clear no. He did not say a clear no.
So this is their specialty. They try and say, oh, well, I believe what Merrick Garland said was, hey, Matt, why don't you put a request into the DOJ and we'll decide what we're going to do about that. Yeah, okay. It's a very simple question. Have you spoken to them? Have you spoken to them? The answer is yes.
Yeah, she knows his answer should have been yes. But why didn't he say no? Why didn't he deny it? She's going to give the information here on why he gave that convoluted answer, because he could have lied and just said no. Then he'd be in trouble.
The answer is 100%
You
yes.
have the White
Because if
House
it was
logs.
no, then shut us down, us conspiracy theorists, us crazy MAGA Republicans that don't do anything but hate this. We love our country, and our country is based on transparency. It's based on the DOJ not being weaponized.
And the DOJ is weaponized by him, and he uses, this is weird, government is so complicated, there's 1,000 ways to lie, obfuscate, look over there. And man, Merrick Garland knows all the ins and outs of every excuse.
And not having a dual judicial system. That is America. And the man wouldn't answer the question that would completely implicate him. And I have some news for you. If and when President Trump wins in November, we will get to the bottom of all of that.
Wouldn't answer the question because it would implicate him. See, if he said no, now he could face time in jail if he lied before them in this investigation. So he was not able to say no. If he didn't have conversations with Fani Willis, if he really didn't, in truth, he would have answered no. So if he doesn't answer no, the answer is yes. He did it. Alina Habba is saying they're going after him when Trump wins. And I agree with that. He does. You hear us throw around the words, oh, they got to go to jail. They got to go to jail. Some of these top tier people, their level of conspiracy and corruption. I mean, Juan Merchan, and I would definitely put Merrick Garland in this category. They do need to go to jail for what they did. They need to be investigated, removed, and absolutely prosecuted, thrown in jail. And I'm all for it. If that's Trump revenge, or if that's Trump's going to be a dictator for life, whatever. No, that's simple justice. Do the investigation, kick the bum out, you unappoint him, appoint another attorney general, and run the entire legal system in your favor. Get that case out of D.C. so you don't have to deal with a jury of his peers. You don't want a bunch of Democrats in D.C. That's why they're all the Democrats in D.C., they want Hunter Biden's gun case to go over there, and they do, because they have a sympathetic judge, sympathetic jury. They all know the Bidens for, his 100-year career. Here's the rest of Alina Habba in that TPUSA speech that she gave that we started with.
They only call me names because I'm effective.
Ding dong right. She's effective.
Weekend in Washington, the sun was shining, the birds were singing, and little Johnny Jihadis surrounded the White House. The Johnny Jihadis desecrating the statue of General Rochambeau, the Frenchman who, along with Lafayette in Washington, forced the surrender of British General Cornwallis, effectively winning the Revolutionary War. Police made no arrests. Actually, there was one arrest, but he escaped. Biden says he's defending democracy, but can't defend the statue of the general who helped start it. It was also Biden's biggest turnout of the season. Crowd size in the tens of thousands. More Democrats protested Biden in one night than showed up to support him all year. Kamala also got showered with Sharia love in Michigan.
We mourn all the innocent lives that have been lost in Gaza, including those tragically killed today. For the past 8 months, President Biden and I have been working every day to bring this conflict. I'm speaking right now, and I value and respect your voice, but I'm speaking right now.
While Biden and Kamala were getting heckled out of their own blue backyards, Trump was on their home turf, getting some California love. 45 didn't come home empty-handed. More on that in a minute. Then he flew to Vegas for a campaign rally that was so hot the teleprompter broke.
Could you imagine if Biden was up? He's no good with a teleprompter. He's the worst I've seen. But could you imagine if the teleprompters went off? Here's Biden. He wouldn't even say anything because he's incapable. He'd probably go pause, pause. How about when he's reading the teleprompter and then they say pause, meaning, maybe you'll get about 3 people clapping. And he goes pause. No, he just walk off the stage like this. Oh, teleprompter. Oh. This guy is the worst.
After the comedy show, Trump revealed a new economic policy that hardworking Americans are going to love.
People are saying to themselves, were we better off 4 years ago or are we better off now? And it wasn't even close. We had the greatest economy in history. What we did in taxes, nobody's ever done. So this is the first time I've said this. And for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy. Because when I get
You have a message.
On tips, people making tips.
Now, when I was a bellhop, they paid me about $4.25 an hour, but I made hundreds of dollars in cash tips, which we didn't report, obviously, because they can tax it. But everything's on credit cards now. You can't hide it. Uncle Sam taxes tips. Biden hired 87,000 extra IRS agents, gave them guns to do it. Trump's tip tax cut makes Biden look like a sinister old geezer, and it's already moving the needle.
I did talk with some hotel workers yesterday, some service workers here in Las Vegas, about how that is playing with them. And Anne-Marie, about 6 people told me that would change their vote. That is enough to make them switch from voting Democrat to Republican if Donald Trump is promising something like that to them.
Sources in Delaware tell me Biden's a terrible tipper. Usually has somebody else pay for him. But when he does pay, no bueno. A bad tipping president who taxes tips doesn't get reelected. A new CBS poll says the economy is the #1 issue for Americans, not the Trump conviction. That's at the bottom of the list. And it's not just the economy, stupid. Turns out most America wants mass deportations too.
Would you support a new government program that would deport all people living in the U.S. illegally? And that finds majority favor. That finds 6 in 10.
To unpack that a bit, because this 62% of Americans favor deporting all undocumented immigrants. Some of what Mr. Trump talks about could be illegal. It doesn't seem practical in some sense to round up children. So what exactly do people think they're supporting?
Deporting illegals could be illegal, is the kind of brilliant analysis Americans are blessed with on CBS Sundays. Remember Biden's executive order to shut down the border if border crossings hit over 2,500 a day? Well, border crossings have been over 2,500 a day every day since Biden signed the order, and he hasn't shut it down. The day after he signed the order, there were 4,000 border crossings. The next day, they were 10,000. Anybody hear anything about Biden shutting down the border? You didn't, because he didn't. Why would Democrats support a man like that? They don't. A friend of the show, Nick Shirley, went to Compton. Watch.
Who are you voting for in 2024?
Obama.
Obama's not even running.
I don't know then.
I'm voting for Trump, homie. But I'm voting for Trump because he put money in our pocket.
I'm going to say Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe?
No, I'm just playing. Probably Trump.
I ain't gonna lie, I'll go for Trump. I really would. I'll go for Trump because Biden ain't showed us nothing.
Trump for the people. Give me Trump, bro.
And why so?
Because he for us. Here's to Trump.
Joe Biden's been president from 2020 to 2024. What differences have you seen in those past 8 years?
Everything's going up. Food's going up, gas going up, the economy is going up. So it's a difference, a major difference. What have you done for our community yet? We still in the ghetto, we still in the hood. What have we done? I haven't seen no changes, period.
From Compton to Silicon Valley, Democrats are walking away from the guy who can barely walk. Trump hauled in $30 million from his California swing. $12 million came straight out of Nancy Pelosi's backyard. Tech billionaires say they were impressed by how eloquent and articulate Trump was and opened up their checkbooks. He wasn't the guy I see on TV, one source told the Post. He was very thoughtful and self-deprecating. One of the billionaires who hosted the fundraiser for Trump was a lifelong Democrat who says he's been forced into political homelessness.
As a Democrat who has been left homeless, who is now definitely in the center, but probably leaning increasingly right, I'm left yet again with an appreciation, despite the message of the Trump administration.
Buyer's remorse is rippling through the Democrat ranks. And Clinton guru James Carville says, "Don't blame me. I never wanted the guy."
It isn't a choice that I was crazy about. I actually was very public that I thought that President Biden should not run for re-election. But he did, and it's him and Trump, and that's where I am. The lack of enthusiasm among young people for public policy or public service or being involved in the public square is quite disheartening.
And the Democrat numbers guru, Nate Silver, announced today that the Biden approval rating has reached an all-time low and says Biden is in much worse shape than he was 4 years ago and is on track to lose handily, and suggests we might have hit the threshold where Biden dropping out would help Democrats more than if he stuck it out. Because what does it say about a man who won't protect America's symbolic landmarks, won't protect our national sovereignty, and won't even protect workers' meager tips from vicious IRS agents during an inflationary bubble that he caused? If you love this country, you fight to protect it.
Number one, you take any of the greatest fighters of all time, Trump is number one. The most resilient human being that I've ever met in my life.
In what respect?
Why keep doing this? You know, you got money, you got a great life, you got whatever. Why keep doing this? And the one thing that I can tell you, and this is a fact, this guy loves this country, right? And he loves all Americans, regardless of what color, religion, or whatever it is. He's not a racist. He's a good human being, and he loves America, and he cares about this country. Period. End of story.
From waitresses to whales, from Compton to venture capital, to Lafayette Park, just yards from the White House, the anti-Biden avalanche is building up speed and is taking all of us along for the ride. From the bottom up to the top down, this election boils down to this: reason triumphing over fear. If enough Americans use their common sense and deliberate, and they don't allow their passions to be inflamed by demagogues, Joe Biden will be soundly defeated in November. Click here to subscribe.